Well, we've got something a bit different. Well, hello again. Welcome back. You might notice from this lovely stuff, I'm not in my normal area. I've taken a bit of a drive and a little bit of a journey to somewhere different. I was getting a bit bored of fishing around Clacton. Same sort of stuff, whiting, dogfish, basically stuff I don't really want. I have had some nice flatties, don't get me wrong, but they are very, very few and far between. So, taking a journey. It might look like Chesil. It is not Chesil. I can assure you of that. I've not taken that far of a journey. Similar to Chesil, it's probably Essex's Chesil in a way, and that is Shingle Street. So I've come down here for a few hours. It's a little bit further away from home, only about an hour and a half, 20 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, something like that, not very long at all. To hopefully see if there's anything a bit different about. I do like fishing Shingle Street, big high shingle bank. It is fun to fish. It's just another place. This is going to be a pleasure session, bit of fun, and just see if there's anything else about somewhere a bit different. So you probably can't tell, but it is actually extremely windy. It's a little bit windier than I would have liked it to be, as you can probably see by the shelter going absolutely mental every now and again, sort of gusting past. But even though it was going to be a bit windier, it is going to be on our backs as such, so shelter, all of that lot is fairly easy to put up. I'm not going to be messing about too much tonight. It is going to be, to start off with, I'm going in with the intention, big bait. 2 pennel rigs with a selection of baits on. I have a selection of baits. Just to see if there is anything worth having about. Hopefully there may be a cod. Who knows? Doubt it, but that is what I've got in the back of my mind. Whether it pans out that way, we'll have to wait and see. But this is sort of, we're getting towards the end of October now. It's going to be the start of what I would class as my cod season. Any time from now really going forward is going to be, that's going to be the main thing at the forefront of everything. So I'm going to get rigged up, I'm going to stop waffling and get you back for some baiting up, I suppose. Right, so with big fish being at the forefront of my mind, I've got, out defrosted at the moment, pack of lug. I've got these off of Rich the other week, which I think he got off of Nicky. They did look quite good. That's Nicky's Baits in Walton. Some more old lugworm, black lug. Some salted lug that I had left over that I just decided to salt down. Some squid, and I also have frozen rag, frozen bluey, and some peeler crab. It's all frozen bait pretty much tonight, because it wasn't 100% guaranteed if I was going to be going or not because of the weather. It's been absolutely awful. We had the storm the other day where it was midweek 60-mile-an-hour winds and rain and all sorts, which I was going to go because I thought it would make a funny video, but I decided against that because I didn't really fancy getting soaking wet before I even started. So yeah, didn't bother with that one. So we're here today. We're making the best of the situation that we've got. Now, like I said earlier, pennel rigs, super simple, super easy to make. Basically a lazy rig, in all honesty. You can catch absolutely everything with this rig with that, basically minimal changes. They might look big, they are size 1, but they are the very vast big mouth, so they're quite a big gape on the hook themselves. I've spoke about them before. Down to a 5-ounce lead that I will probably end up changing to a 6 because there looks like there's a bit of tide. If you can't tell, I don't often fish here. I fish here every now and again. I'm not a local by any means. I am not well versed in how this place fishes, what bait works, what rig works, anything like that. I am completely out of my zone when it comes to here. So if you're looking for a video that is going to be how to fish Shingle Street, or tips and anything like that, I'll only be able to give you what I've got or I learned during this session, because other than that I'm completely, well, like that, in the dark. So we're going to get finding out as we're going, and that's part of fishing, isn't it? Finding out while you're on the job, so to speak. So yeah, going to get baited up, get flicked out, and hopefully something big comes along. So here we are. That is first cast, or going to be first cast. That is a whole small medium-ish size squid and 2 black lug bound to the back of it. There's not a lot of black lug there. They were small. They were the runt of the litter. They were the end of the pack, so that's why there's 2 on there. But yeah, I'm going to get this one fired out. See if there's anything out there. Right, so that is first cast out. I'm actually going to sit and watch that a minute just to see what that one does before I put the second one out, because I'm not 1,000,000% sure what that tide is doing. It doesn't seem to want to hold bottom, so I have a funny feeling it's going to move. So I'll see if it moves. I need to adjust where the other one goes, because otherwise I'm going to end up all crisscrossed. So yeah, I'm going to give that a minute. That'll give me time to get the other rig baited up. Nice chilled one. Like I said, I'm not rushing around tonight. I'm just taking it nice and slow. Right, so I've just played treasure hunt, trying to get the lugworm out of the frozen salt that I had. And listen, they're not perfect. They're not the best worms in the world, but it's either that or throw them straight in the bin. So they've gone a little bit rubbery. They are usable, don't get me wrong. They're not going to be perfect, but what is perfect in this world, realistically? Not a great deal. Nothing that a little bit of bait elastic can't solve, that is for sure. Get these all banded up and make one decent sized bait out of them. Well, apart from the fact that it's got a load of disgusting white salt coming out of them, there's actually a bit of lug juice still there. Hopefully it's a bit like a lug concentrate. It's not too bad of a bait. It ain't perfect, but I'm not being funny. I'm sure something will eat it out there. So even the 6 ounces aren't really like properly holding. They're not swinging around in the tide, but they're not tightening down where I can get the tension in the tip. They're just bumping up and pulling out. I'm guessing that's something to do with the wind coming this way and the tide coming this way, and then me pulling them this way. Something's going on, but we'll basically be slacklining for them. It's not what we were after, and there's someone out there that went, it's just going to catch a big whiting or just a whiting. Well, you're correct. He's a whiting. It's a half decent sized whiting. I haven't got my stick with me, but don't know how big. It's got to be, it's well into the 30s. Lee's just had one at 35, so it might just be a night of massive whiting. But it's a fish. We're off the blank. That's the main thing. It took me a whole pennel bait, but yeah, I'm gonna get this one unhooked, get rebaited, and get fired back out. Well, there is some absolute monster whiting about tonight. Look at the size of that. That's the biggest whiting I've had in a while. That's absolutely massive compared to what I normally catch. That is a... This is when I say I don't mind catching whiting. It's near enough as long as my arm. It's absolutely huge. Oh dear, oh dear. Don't know what to do when I get this big. I'm all bamboozled. Well, he was quite deeply hooked, so he's going to be coming home with me. That's mad. That's a big whiting. Right, so as you can probably see, got my coat on. That is because the temperature has dropped significantly. Especially with that wind, it's getting, oh, sorry, blind you again. It's getting cold. So it's definitely the change of the seasons, and hopefully with that cold weather brings in the cod. If they're white and that size are about, I don't even mind catching them. That's a big whiting. Could be a night of monsters. Probably won't catch nothing else now, but just the same bait again, I guess. Just a big old lug bait. Because that'll tempt a lot of stuff, including them massive whiting. Let's get it fired out. I'll tell you what, I'm getting some long distance casting in tonight. With that wind directly behind me and a nice little upcast, it ain't taking a lot and it is going a long way. I've had to be a bit cautious because one of my reels is not quite fully spooled up, so I don't want to blast it too hard and then zip, it's all gone. So the wind is definitely helping out tonight, that is for sure. Hopefully that gets me in the range of all of them big whiting and possibly codling, because I know they will school together. I know there's a lot of we'll see going on tonight, but we will see because I don't normally fish here. But with whiting that big coming out, might be a new venue. Well, things have been a little bit quiet, in all honesty. I think I just give Lee the most exciting bite of his life because somehow I've managed to end up over him or he's ended up over me or whatever. So I wound in and he's screaming and shouting that he's got a massive bite. Well, yeah, sorry about that. That was me. That doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's a little bit of excitement. I've changed over now to squid and crab wraps. That's the next one ready to go out. The whiting they're coming in, but they haven't been as big as the ones that that I did have first. They were, well, I haven't had a whiting that size in a long time. That was sort of 35-36 centimetres. So yeah, I haven't had one that big and that fat as well. Sometimes you get them and they're long, but they're like a pencil. This one had the size to back it up, so it's a nice change, I suppose. But yeah, it's not been as active. Which for whiting, do you really want it super active? No. But I'll take the bigger ones. Just sort of putting out bigger baits to either pick out the bigger whiting or pick out the bigger other fish if they're about. I didn't feel like having another session where I'm plugging away at large numbers of whiting, because that would just annoy me again. So yeah, we're plugging through, we're changing baits, we're trying to work stuff out. I'm struggling to hold bottom. No matter what I put on, my 5 ounces that I normally use, that I've made myself, they normally hold better than a lot of other leads. But today they're not holding. I've gone over to breakaway 6 ounce leads, and they're not holding. They're staying in the place where they land in relation to sort of, they're not going left or right, but I can't get any bend in the tip. They must be right on the thing of just holding bottom, where as soon as I put a bit of tension in that line, they just bump out. So we're basically running on the thing of no bites unless it's at a big one. And just keep checking really. It's been a bit of a strange evening, to be fair, for that. The tide's coming in rather rapidly. It's 12:49 for anyone who's interested. I think high tide is about 1:30, I think, something like that tonight. So we've still got an hour till high, and then obviously whatever we do after high. But again, it's not my normal beach. I don't know if it fishes better on the up, on the out, over high, over low. It's just sort of go and find out. That right hand rod has just had the first positive bite indication. Might let that develop for a minute. Right, I've left that a minute now. Let's have a look. That wind is proper picking up. This has gone right down this way. It's another massive whiting. I thought I see a bite. And that is what it was, another massive whiting. Yeah, I had to let that bite develop for a minute because it was very sort of finicky. But it is another whiting. That was on squid and crab. So I don't think it's mattering what I'm putting out tonight, they're still having it. Yeah, that wind's proper picking up, as you can probably see from the shelter in the camera. It's it's battering now, as you could probably see from the bite that I just had. Whether you got to see the bite or not, I don't know. But the rods are basically bolt upright. They are just not playing ball at all tonight. Another nice fat juicy crab and squid bait ready to go. Let's get her out there. So tonight I'm doing a bit of a naughty. I'm not taking all the bait completely off. It's normally a bit of a no-no. You should really freshen up your baits every time, but again, I can't be bothered to keep feeding whiting properly, so the baits are just getting packed up with more fresh bait, which can work well sometimes. I'm not overly worried. It's not a competition, not a massive rush to oh god, there's cod in about tonight, I'm going to need to catch them, so I need everything perfect, because there ain't no guarantees. So I'm just going to keep making these baits bigger and stretching out what I have got, considering I haven't got any fresh. Plus these baits ain't washing out too much, so there is plenty of juice still coming out of them. Just means they gradually get bigger. It is now lugworm two ways, blacks and blow, all in one go. That rhymes, look at that. Could be a wrapper as well, couldn't I? Where he? Well, we've got something a bit different. I'm going to give you 2 seconds, see if you can guess what it is. That's correct, it's a dogfish. It's the other pest that we end up seeming to catch. But it's not a whiting, so that is a bonus, I suppose. These are slightly higher up on the pecking order. Give me a wicked slack liner, and because I'm fishing for what I'm fishing for, the old codling, I thought, oh, is this it? Am I in? No, I'm not. But it is another fish. I've had quite a few whiting. There's been a fair few about tonight, as per usual. This time of year, the whiting, they're going to be pretty difficult to get away from. But again, it's sport. We're out, we're having fun, we're catching something. That's the main thing. It's starting to finally calm down. The wind has been, well, wind. It's knocked the camera over twice, knocked my SD card out of the camera, and was blowing an absolute hoolie for, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes maybe, which was making fishing extremely difficult. But that seems to have now passed, and it's gone the complete opposite, where there's barely any wind at all. It's basically a strong breeze. I've had a few more sort of decent sized whiting, getting up for 33, 34, stuff like that. So yeah, they're definitely about. What's the other doggy that as you saw, which was nice for a change of catching whiting. A doggy thrown into the mix always seems to help out a little bit with morale. It's been a very pleasant evening. It's times like this where I am so thankful that I've got my shelter, I've got all my warm weather stuff. It's something that you don't necessarily need it, but if you've got it, or if you can get it, it makes your fishing experience a hell of a lot more pleasant, especially now coming into the winter months, with the weather changing, wind, rain, everything. It's just going to make it so much more pleasant if you can get hold of something like this. I bought this one second hand. There's no shame in buying stuff second hand. At the end of the day, if that's the only way you're going to be able to get something, so be it. I think the price of them is ridiculous, really, for what they are. I think the new ones are pushing nearly £200, which for sea fishing, it's going to get a beating. So if they are fairly hard wearing, fair enough, they're going to last. But there's so many people selling different bits and pieces, and you can grab a bargain somewhere along the line, or don't. Be a hard man and stick it out like a real fisherman. But I think I'd rather have a little bit of comfort, but that's just my personal opinion. I am going to be doing a video at some point, especially now coming into the winter, of say, like for example, the top 10 pieces of equipment that you need for sea fishing through the winter. I've got a couple of products that I want to possibly show off, and yeah, I'll put that into a video, so you can, if you want to follow it or do your own thing along it, that's entirely up to you. But just to help out with the people that aren't seasoned anglers that possibly watch the video, I know there is a couple of you, but there's obviously some that don't comment and whatever. So, but yeah, it's just to sort of help out, really, especially with the youngsters coming into it. I remember some nights going out on the beach and being absolutely freezing because I decided to go out fishing with my friends in like shorts and a jumper or just a trackie, and it was getting into minuses and stuff like that. Main one is your feet. If you can keep your feet warm, generally you're going to stay a lot better. But yeah, like I say, back then, getting wet, not proper clothing, it is no fun. It's another whiting. Another whiting. This one's a bit scummy. Looks like he's got some sort of disease on him. That one actually went back. Quite surprised of. Normally you throw them back and they go, just, yeah, cease to exist. I would like to say that my catch rate would be a little bit higher if I could actually see my bites. It's been very difficult trying to get the rod set properly tonight for some reason, which is making fishing quite difficult. I don't probably fish pennels as much as as much as I should, really. They can be very, very effective, and they are a very versatile rig, depending how you tie them up and what components you use. And you can fish them single hook, you can fish them, well, like the pulley, you can fish them fixed. When I say pennel, I mean pulley pennel. It's my bad. Pennel is the double hook, but pulley is the rig, I suppose. But yeah, you can fish that. I've fished that all the way down to really small sort of size 6s if you're fishing over a bit of rough ground. It can be very, very effective. Well, there's a reason that it's one of the, I'd say probably the most popular sea fishing rig going, because it's so easy to use and everyone seems to love it. Oh, squid, look at that. Perfect whiting bait. Well, just been sitting here thinking things have started to slow up. I put my other rod out, looked up, went, oh, that's gone awfully slack. Touched me line, was very slack. Haven't had one of these in a little while. Look at the size of that. That's a decent sized one and all. Come out for one thing and end up with another. I didn't expect to be having one of these tonight. So yeah, lovely little thornback. Oh, this is what we come out for. It was not a wasted journey. He's really spiky, this one. But yeah, just on a whole squid. Put all this expensive bait out, don't get an out, put a simple squid out, and you come out with one of these. So, oh, what a result! That is a, yeah, result. I'm well pleased with that. Right, well, I think that is going to be the final fish that I have on camera. That was very, very unexpected. I'm very, very pleased with that, and it has made the journey even better. It's been a little while since I've had a ray, so coming here, targeting one thing, having that is a massive bonus in my book. The last casts are out. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm going to go home happy. So if you enjoyed the video, thank you for watching. It's been a pleasurable session, even with the weather, but it's one of them. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at another beach another time. Thank you very much.